Well, welcome back, everybody, to Future in Sight. Today's episode is called Finding Your Momentum, and it's really all about the early days of employment. We've all been there. Some of us are still there. It's about training. It's about the nerves. It's about the confidence that you inevitably gain once you go through training. So here with me, we have two guests. I have Zack Moreau, who is joining us. He's been with the company now for a bit, and then Phillip Marszal, who's with us as well. So welcome, you guys. How you guys feeling?
Good.
Feel great.
Awesome. Well, before we dive in, let's do some introductions. You guys are both along the same path, just at different stages of your journey. So, Zack, why don't you introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself, what department you're in?
Yeah, so I'm in R&D chemistry. Before that, I was actually in grad school down at UCSD. I did my master's there in nanoengineering. And then before that, I was actually at a company called NuSil, which supplies a lot of silicone for medical device companies. And so that's kind of how I feel like I kind of wandered into this role.
Yeah.
And I think that played a huge part in me, getting an offer and coming here.
Awesome. Yeah. And how long have you been with RxSight now?
So it's started my 10th week right now.
Wow.
Yep. And,
well, welcome.
Been loving it.
Yeah. Awesome. Phillip.
Hey, I'm Phillip. I am Associate Quality Director here at RxSight. And I've been with the company for about a year or so. I've been in the medical device industry for, close to 15, 14 years or so, and always in quality. I always loved the quality side of things. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, as today is all about finding your footing, finding your momentum, as we've titled this, we want to learn what it's really like, right? There's many people who are watching, I'm sure, who have either applied or going through the process or have been on the other side. So we want to learn more about your guys' perspective and kind of what it means for you. So starting at the very beginning, right? And Zack, maybe this is good for you, but starting at the beginning, when everything feels new, it feels fresh. What has pleasantly surprised you since you've been with RxSight now for, like you said, 10 weeks?
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised by how everyone is like super nice and willing to help you out. I can go to pretty much anyone with a question that I might have, and they'll give me a very good, honest answer. Anything else that you want to add? Yeah.
Was there anything that made you feel so far to say like, okay, I know what this is going to be like. I know what training is going to be like.
Yeah. So actually on the first day, my manager, Phil, not this Phillip, but Phil Bunting, he basically sat me down and, presented like a 2-hour lecture on like the basics of the technology. And I found that like really helpful because, I kind of had all these conceptions coming in, like, what do you guys like do? Like what kind of science, like what kind of chemistry do you use specifically? And so I was kind of guessing, I was talking to ChatGPT. I was like, what could they be doing? But, on the first day when Phil kind of like filled me in, he just like went through everything, and like each PowerPoint that he showed me kind of like got progressively more technical, and I really enjoyed it. And then I started to feel like more confident, like, oh, I understand, and if I understand, then I can contribute to the team.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Well, shout out Phil Bunting if you're watching. Phillip, what about for you? Rewinding nearly a year or so ago, did anything feel similar as far as that initial training period?
Yeah, I mean, same as Zack here, is that initial training, knowing about the technology itself was very important to understand the processes itself and how the manufacturing process, how all the different processes work together itself. So that was a good crash course for sure.
Awesome.
For me too.
Yeah. And, as many know who are with the company or are researching the company, the technology is incredibly complex. It's, very innovative technology. So I'm sure learning about kind of what it is and probably to a technical level has been really helpful. So Phillip, now that you're on the other end, right, you've been through training, you are, now mentoring others, right? What was that moment, if you could think back to one moment where things felt like it started to click, where maybe the dots started to connect a little bit?
Yeah, I think for me, it really started to click about like 2 months into my training itself. That's kind of when I started to realize how my role and my the goals and the people and the processes kind of all aligned itself. And my manager really did a good job at defining the goals for me initially, so that I could excel
Yeah.
my position.
Okay. So about the 2-month mark, Zach, you're about at that 2-month mark, just surpassed it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
does that resonate with you?
Yeah, a little bit. Since I'm in R&D, I feel like things are constantly changing. And,
Sure.
I was given a handful of goals initially, like with a 30, 60, 90-day plan. But I feel like, we're kind of like going down different routes and we're kind of exploring all these kind of rabbit holes. And it's actually something I really appreciate about doing R&D is like you never really know what to expect and you're constantly kind of on your feet having to like learn new things, learn new techniques. And that's kind of where I'm at. So I'd say I haven't really fully like settled completely in the role because it's like constantly changing.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I got to imagine there's a lot of different projects going on at any given time, a lot of different experiments you're probably running or new initiatives, Philip, that maybe you're involved in. So, I mean, your mileage is certainly going to vary depending on the role you're in or kind of the department that you join. Now, Philip, now that you are truly on that other end, you have since been promoted, you've taken on greater responsibilities. We've now hired for your team and you're training others and mentoring others. So from that perspective, what does support look like now that you are the one training?
I think good support for me really means kind of a balance between guidance and trust of that individual. Of course, want to give the individual all the information that they need to be successful in that role. But I think what's more important is giving them the trust and the confidence to make their own decisions within that role so that they can grow in their career and their role itself.
Okay. Zach, anything early on, anything that you feel that you are now slowly independent with?
Yeah, I suppose just like making silicone formulations. I don't know if I can say this on camera, but our lenses are made out of silicone. But yeah, just honestly making the formulations at a really small scale. So when I was at NUSA, we'd make like, tens, maybe 20, maybe 100 grams worth of like, a material at a time. But here we're using very, very tiny amounts, on the milligram scale, like 30 milligrams are, the size of my test articles. Shoot, I kind of lost my train of thought there.
No, that's good. Cool. Well, let's talk about impact. I mean, it's kind of a good segue because, once you go through training, once you kind of get in the groove of things, I mean, it's, once you find your momentum, right, then you really start being able to, see the impact that your work has, right? So, Philip, I mean, I know firsthand, some of the things that you have done now in your new role, but for those listening, why don't you talk a little bit about, a win or something that you can now look back on and think, oh, wow, like I did that. I'm really proud of that.
Sure. I think for me, really a big win was strengthening the Kappa management system. As soon as I joined the team itself, that was my kind of main focus is managing the Kappa system. And when I initially started, I got the training on how Kappas are done. That kind of let me have a strong foundation itself for knowing what to do at RxSight. And then from there, I kind of use my expertise to make critical changes in the process so that individuals there can easier process Kappas itself, but also be more compliant with the due dates and everything else. So I think I've done a good job there.
Awesome. Sounds great. And for those who may be watching who may not be familiar, right, can you just briefly explain the Kappa process or just kind of what a Kappa is? Yeah,
of course. The Kappa process really is kind of the lifeline of a quality system itself. Is kind of the end all be all, is where all the issues kind of fall in with processes, with systems, or with product itself. When there's a major issue, they typically fall into there so that they get resolved themselves.
Awesome. So Zach, I know, 10 weeks in, starting to kind of find your footing and be independent on your own. Any early wins that you can think of, whether it be familiarity or experience with certain instrumentation or a new technique or something that maybe you're less familiar with?
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of like rheometry. So there's this thing, it's called a rheometer. sold by TA Instruments. And I'd used it a couple times in grad school and a couple times at NewSil. But, when I first got here, Phil showed me how to use it. And I've just been kind of grinding away on that thing. And I've been kind of building up my competence with this technique, calculating cross-linking density and things of that nature. That's really helped me feel a lot more confident in my role, because I know, I can crank this data out in like an afternoon if I really had to, which is something I probably couldn't have done, previously without, the excessive experience that I've been getting.
Cool. So now you feel like you're slowly but surely becoming a subject matter expert in rheology or the rheometer.
Yeah, one day. I
Yeah.
feel like 10,000 hours is kind of the benchmark for
Yep.
subject matter expertise, but I'll slowly but surely get there, I
For
think.
sure. Yeah, 10,000 Hours. Good book. Malcolm Gladwell,
Yeah.
Outliers.
Yep.
Highly recommend. It's a great book that talks about just that mastery. So I don't know what 10,000 hours is in a working day, but if you're good at math,
Like 5 years.
yeah, 5 years. 5 years in your role, you'll be mastering it. So awesome. So just final anecdote for those watching who may be thinking, maybe I want to apply. Maybe I want to kind of join RxSight. What would be one piece of advice or something of encouragement that you would leave them with? We'll start with you, Zach.
Don't be nervous. Apply for every job that you feel qualified for. Even if you don't feel qualified, still go for it, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done, especially here at RxSight, and we'd love to have you on board. So
Awesome. Philip?
I agree with Zach, of course, but apply. I think for me, really is ask all the right questions and really take ownership of that role early on in your career, so that you just grow. Here at RxSight, I think we have a very supportive team itself, and when I joined, I think everyone was willing to help and even go out of their way to really make sure that you're successful in your role. So I think it's a really nice environment to work in.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you both. You heard it here first. So if you're curious, definitely apply. And who knows, maybe in a year from now, we'll do a similar episode and you'll be the one who are mentoring and leading others. And Philip, who knows what great things that you'll be doing. But thank you both for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Again, we're going to be dropping these episodes every single month, so keep chiming back because we got some exciting conversations to be had. Thank you both. It was really exciting learning about your journey, and I'm excited to see what you guys do and continue to do.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.